Hello and welcome back to another video. This is your Crystal Palace preview, obviously, on a West Ham channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new and if you enjoy the video. And yeah, 3 London derbies in a row. We go at home to against Crystal Palace, right at the London Stadium. Then Thursday, I think it's Thursday, against Tottenham at their ground. And then we go to Fulham at their ground on what I assume is the Sunday. 3 London derbies, and the only one that's like fierce London derby is the Tottenham one out of them 3. But London derbies matter, in my opinion. All of them matter for me because every time you go into a London derby, you're representing your part of London. You're representing East London going into every London derby. And in London derbies, we don't usually do good. Like, let's look back at last season. We got 1 point against Tottenham. We got 0 points against Brentford. 0 points against Crystal Palace. 6 points against Fulham. 1 point against Chelsea. 1 point against Arsenal. Is that it? Is that all the London teams? I think that's all the London teams. I could be wrong. But yeah. So overall, that would be 9 points in London derbies. I'm putting it this way, that's the equivalent to 3 wins. And think about how many teams there are that are actually in London that are in the Premier League now. And Luton does not count as London. Neither does Watford, even though they weren't in the Premier League. But we go into this game and they've got injuries. We've got players that might be out, might not be out. If Bowen's out, Mubama has to start. I know people are going to say, what did he do? I've been saying this for games on games on games, and it's tiring commentating about West Ham this year because I'm saying the same things all the time. But when do we give service to our strikers? We only set up to play with an Antonio type that runs the channels, and it's relying on the other players to get in the box. That's how this system was created in the first place when Moyes came in, and we settled on this 4-2-3-1. And sometimes we go fire in the back with Masuaku and etc. Antonio will go down the left a bit. Bowen comes in the box. Our left winger tries to get in the box. Souček gets in the box. And Antonio is one of the providers whilst drawing players out in the channels. Now, the problem is that Moyes plays mind games with Bowen. In my opinion, I think Bowen will play. If he doesn't, then I don't know why he would have been in contention against Burnley anyway. Because my thing is, he probably doesn't want him travelling and probably thought we would have got the job done anyway. And we only just about did that against Bakatopola. I hope I never have to say that name again because I don't know how to pronounce it. And against Palace, it was very traumatic last season against Crystal Palace, both games. I think the context of last season, we had Paquetá out for Bournemouth and Man United. We beat Bournemouth and lost to Man United. And we played Flynn Downs in the number 10 role whilst trying to play possession football, which is mental damage. And then Crystal Palace comes, and this is when the fans started turning on Moyes last season. And I was there at the ground, and it was one of the worst performances ever again. I think there's a lot of worst performances ever. And last year against Crystal Palace, we came up against Patrick Vieira's Palace, and they popped us off the park. I think it was Decore, Eze, and Elise in midfield, technically, because I think actually no, Jordan Ayew was playing off the left, and Zaha, I think, was playing up front for a bit, and then Elise was playing on the right, and they just popped us off the park. I can't remember who was the other player that was playing a bit more advanced. It might have been Will Hughes, but I don't know. But we just got played off the park, whilst in the first half, guess what? We gave no service to Skamaka. Benrahma comes with one of the most powerful goals in the Premier League. Apparently, that was the most powerful goal last season based on the stats and stuff. We took the lead, and it was a great goal. just lets it out, bang. If Ben Rama tries to do that again, it's going over the bar. And we saw on Thursday, he should not start this game. Now, after that goal, we do the typical West Ham thing by sitting back and not doing anything after going 1-0 up. And that's not only a Moyes thing, that's a mentality thing in the players. But that's probably a mentality thing built up in that whole coaching staff and the whole playing staff, in that whole group. And if you're a new player, you just get integrated into that. And we bought a lot of new players as of the last 2 years. All of a sudden, Dawson decides to fizz the ball into Tilo Kehrer, and then people ended up blaming Tilo Kehrer because they have an attachment to Dawson. So anything Dawson did wasn't his fault. As good as Craig Dawson was for West Ham, it just, yeah. There was a lot of bias there. Dawson fizzes the ball into Kehrer. Kehrer loses the ball. Ball gets given to Zaha, and Zaha scores. And then it's 1-1 before half time. Moyes decides he's a fucking genius and puts on Antonio as a half time sub. And for some reason, Skamaka came off. Didn't give him the ball. By the way, if you don't give the striker the ball, they can't do anything. Which is what I keep trying to say when I'm defending strikers at this club. It just all went pear-shaped from there. Thomas Souček was having one of the worst games ever. He eventually came off for Flynn Downs. There was an ironic cheer when he came off, like, way! That's how bad Thomas Souček was playing. And people could say it was because of Rice, or it could just be that he was passing the ball inaccurate for 5 yards. You have to pass 5 yards properly. He still can't do that, but he's scoring goals, so people don't talk about it. But I'm going to carry on talking about it. I'll give credit where it's due when he scores, and I'll still criticise if there still needs to be criticism. But the problem was, the next sub he made was when the fans turned. Now, Lanzini was coming on, I think. And Lanzini coming on is fine. I was a big advocate of bringing Lanzini on. And Paquetá wasn't having the greatest game at this point, but he took off Ben Brahma. He was man of the match. Man of the match for that game. And fans booed the shit out of that sub. Everyone just shouted, what the fuck is going on? So Lanzini came on to play on the left. I don't know why, because Cresswell isn't going to overlap. And yes, Cresswell was playing that game. And this was the penultimate game before kickoff, and we go back to that, and then around the 90th minute, looking for a goal. It's very frustrating. We get a penalty disallowed because Antonio dived. Antonio then decides to do exactly what he did at Selhurst Park a few years ago, under the season where Bilic got sacked, where he fizzes it just straight into the goalkeeper after putting the worst cross ever. I just said to my dad next to me, they're going to score from here. They go on a counter-attack, Elise cuts in, get deflected, goes in, fans rage, and people start being a bit more loud with the Moyes out stuff. I held myself back. I couldn't do it. But we then lost to Blackburn on penalties, and then lost to Leicester, and then the World Cup happened. He plays the exact same lineup. We lost to Arsenal, lost to Brentford, and it just became a bag of shit after that. But we won the trophy at the end of the season. But Palace was a hard fixture last season. Like a hard fixture. Like the 4-3 game as well. Oh my God. Again, and Souček for one of the goals. Again, just passes it into Souček. And Souček loses the ball. All of our goals were set pieces. Like we lost 4-3. Yeah, they shouldn't have had a penalty that was given to them. But why are we conceding the other three? We took the lead and we didn't need to do what we needed to do. Palace confirmed safety, and there were genuinely Palace fans bragging about that win online and stuff. And then we won the trophy because, we were actually in Europe. It's what happens when you play twice a week. Palace fans have never done that, never witnessed that. The only times they've witnessed playing twice a week is in the Football League. But they have good players. Eze, Elise, Decore. Now, 2 of them are injured, and one of them's just come back from injury and scored a wonder goal. Michael Elise needs to be marked the shit out of, and Emerson's got a big job on his hands this weekend, because I'm assuming he's going to play. It can't be Cresswell after what I saw on Thursday. And I get Emerson can't play every game, but he needs to play the next three, I'll tell you that. He needs to play against Palace, Tottenham and Fulham. Cresswell can't play again. Cresswell shouldn't play again. Neither should Johnson. Sufal will probably come back. Zuma will probably come back. And unfortunately, again, will probably still play. I was about to say Rice and Souček. Fucking hell. It'll probably be... Well, I'm assuming it's either Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Souček. Souček will probably play the 10. I think Alvarez was either ill or rested. Hopefully Kudus is back. If we don't have Kudus and Bowen, we're fucked. But I'm hoping Kudus is back. We need Kudus. We still don't have a left side because Paquetá will play there. And Paquetá's not a left-sided player. And he'll probably play Danny Ings up front again, but it should be Mubama. And Danny Ings is a bag of shit. But it's not his fault because he doesn't play in the two up front. And I'm not going to go into it again. I do feel sorry for him because he does get booed every time his name gets said when it's a sub, etc. And everyone's like, don't boo your players. But you boo Danny Ings. I know he's done nothing for the club. It's not really his fault, is it? It's not mercenary. I know he's getting paid a lot. But the reason why he's getting paid a lot is because Moyes really wanted him in January for some reason to give him no service again. Just wow. This game is going to be hard, man. I know we scraped wins. We scraped it. Burnley and the Europa League game, we've not played well, but we scraped it. Against Forest, we didn't play well, but we scraped it. And I don't want another home loss. I'll be so angry if we lost this game. They've got Decore and Eze are out. Decore is a big miss for them. He's literally the shield. But they have got Jefferson Lerma. Jefferson Lerma is a good player. If you watched him at Bournemouth, good player. I think he will play. I'm not sure whether he's injured or not, but I'm pretty sure he played against Luton. Could be wrong. But I think they'll play Will Hughes and I don't know who else. I don't know who else will play there. But Jordan Ayew, a man who is probably one of the worst players I've seen in the Premier League, but always loves to play well against us. One thing I do hate is the Ayew brothers. I'm sure if you're a Ghanaian fan, you probably don't want them two playing for Ghana anymore. Andre Ayew got sent off on the weekend. But, yeah, I think it'll be Jordan Ayew, either Edouard or Mateta up front, and Elise on the right. That'll be their front three. So I think Sufal will be fine against Ayew. I trust him 1v1 when it comes to that, but they don't press either. So it's just going to be us in possession. And if you remember the Everton game, you'll remember that we just lost 1-0 because they took their chance and we didn't. I can see this being like either a draw or a win to them, where Elise gets the goal for them, and then we end up not breaking them down because their defence record is not that bad, but they're not in good form either. They lost to Luton away, lost to Everton at home. We also lost to Everton at home. A lot of stuff is going on. Some of their fans don't like their owners. Some of their fans didn't really want Roy Hodgson to stay beyond being an interim last season. So this game will throw in a lot of spanners in the work, but I don't think we'll get a result, and that's just me being honest. Sam Johnston's a very good goalkeeper. Gahey and Anderson played badly from what I saw on the highlights of the Luton game. Shouldn't have let that goal go in, but we all know that's a very good partnership, Gahey and Anderson. It's a better partnership than us. I'll still take Zuma over Anderson, but Gahey's way better than Again, and that's a fact. Like, Again is awful player. I'm done with Naif again. I've lost patience, man. I've lost patience. I don't know how you could cost that much and be doing diagonal balls to the opposition when there's no pressure on you. And how can you be a centre-back, tall, African, and you're not strong? Like, this guy's been bullied by every striker under the sun. Katie was good against Sheffield United, but come on, man. He wasn't even good against Luton. Like, Carlton Morris put it on him. But whatever, innit? People are gonna pretend Again is good. Then they can pretend Again is good, but it's not a good partnership. Like Zuma's played. We haven't really let Zuma have a partnership at this club. He's also been injured a couple times, so we'll see. But listen, that is it from me. That is the Crystal Palace preview. Make sure to like and subscribe. My social medias are GVO Mikes on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.